If you've watched 4 or 5 videos ago of mine, you know that I talked about my few favorite phones of 2017, but I didn't tell you my favorite phone overall. Well, it's right here, the Huawei Mate 10 Pro. Out of all the Android phones I used last year, this one sits at the top beside the Pixel 2 XL. This thing has everything I want, from the design to the way it works, the performance, the camera, etc. The design is a little bit different than what Huawei usually does. This year they got rid of the metal back and went with glass instead. There's a nice two-tone finish, which reminds me of a breed between the HTC U11 and a Samsung Galaxy device. Now here's the thing I don't understand. It's using all glass, but there's no wireless charging. Usually when you do have a glass back, the first thing you want to do is put wireless charging inside, but it's not present in this phone. It's IP67, so it is water resistant, not IP68 like the Galaxy device, but more than enough that if you drop it in the pool, you're gonna be okay. What's also very interesting that there's still an IR blaster at the top of the device. I personally don't use one of these things. I think it's outdated and infrared is a technology that needs to die, but there's a lot of people out there who really swear by having an IR blaster on their smartphone. The speaker situation has always been the same. On their previous flagship devices, they went with 2 speakers for stereo sound. The same holds true here, utilizing the earpiece on the top of the phone and of course that bottom speaker to give you great sound. Now, if you want me to give you guys some context, I'd say it's almost as good as the iPhone 10, but better than the larger Pixel 2 XL. The fingerprint scanner on Huawei phones are always super fast, and the same holds true right here. But the thing I really want to talk about is the display. The size is 6 inches, which is the exact same size as the Pixel 2 XL. But if you put them side by side, you'll notice how much bigger the Pixel 2 XL looks. Those front-facing speakers take up space, and Huawei has managed to put their phone in a smaller package. When I'm holding this phone, I don't feel like I'm holding a large device. It just feels comfortable in the hand. This year, Huawei decided to go with an AMOLED panel. Last year's Mate 9 had an IPS display. It was fine. This one's fine too. It's definitely not as good as the display on the Galaxy lineup. If I had to compare it to anything, it's very similar to the display on the OnePlus 5T. So pretty vivid, pretty bright, good enough for regular use. Resolution is 2160 by 1080, so you don't get that sharp resolution like you would on the Note 8 or the Galaxy S8, but overall it's a good display. So here in the West, a lot of people don't like Huawei software. It's not the best visual experience, it's very bubbly, it doesn't look cohesive, and quite frankly, I just wish they'd let a lot more stock Android shine through. But it doesn't mean they haven't changed. Over the years, the software has gotten better and it's a little bit more refined. And of course, for those of you out there who are enthusiasts, you can always throw on a stock launcher. So here's the silver lining. Out of the gate, a few months ago when they released this phone, just recently in North America, it came with Android 8.0 Oreo right out of the box. A lot of other manufacturers who have newer phones are releasing it with Nougat still, which is kind of disappointing. When it comes to performance, this thing is blazing fast. It's using Huawei's own Kirin 970 chip. Now, if you've ever used some of their previous devices, you know how smooth their smartphone chips really are. They provide a beautiful experience. They usually do or excel when it comes to multi-core processing, but when it comes to the GPU, it usually falls behind the Snapdragon and of course Samsung's Exynos processor. This camera is one of my favorite features of the Mate 10 Pro. Huawei's partnership with Leica has produced some amazing camera sensors. There's a monochrome sensor and a color sensor, and when a picture is taken, it uses the monochrome sensor, and the color sensor fills all the imaging and the details in, producing some amazing photos. In fact, I would say this is definitely the top, or one of the top 3 best camera smartphones on the market. As you can see here, I compare it to the Pixel 2 XL, and it definitely does a good job of holding its own. Same holds true when it comes to video. The front-facing camera and any sort of camera features that other phones have, this one can do too. You got portrait mode, so you get that wide aperture effect with a blurred background, and you can even zoom in up to 2 times. Just mind you, it's not true zoom since the second lens is not a telephoto one. Now here's my favorite feature of the Huawei Mate 10 Pro, and that's definitely the battery life. 4,000 milliamp battery, you pair that with a 21x60 by 1080 display, you get some of the best battery life out of any phone I've used in 2017. I am able to take this phone for 2 days of use before I need it to charge. And if it does need to charge, you have Huawei Supernova charging, which is the fastest on the market, even beating out dash charging from OnePlus. Overall, this is an amazing smartphone, and Huawei continues to impress impress me every single year. Their phones keep on getting better and better and better. You get one of the best cameras on the market, you get a beautiful design, you get a decent display, you get good battery life, and you get great sound. The only thing I wish they did with this phone was put a better display on it, and of course include a headphone jack. I think a phone this thick and this size has space for it, and it could have held on to it for at least one more year. I want to hear your thoughts on the Huawei Mate 10 Pro. What do you think of it? Is this something you can see yourself buying? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, hit the like button, and I'll talk to you in the next one.